What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and if you're new here, then welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Now, I'm making this video because pretty soon the BRZ is not going to be stocked. We had a big mod come in the other day, and it's one of many, so if you want to see the change to the car that's going to happen over the short amount of time, definitely subscribe. I have had lots of questions of whether or not the BRZ is a fun car to drive stock. So today, I took the BRZ up to the mountain, and we're going to go have a little bit of fun with it in these back roads here. So, on paper, the BRZ should be a pretty fun car to drive. It's got a decent amount of horsepower and torque. It's super light. In fact, it's one of the lightest sports cars ever made. It's got a low center of gravity, super responsive steering, and just all around it's just a blast to drive. So, is it actually fun to drive stock though? Definitely. Now, the first thing that comes to mind for me that comes to driving a BRZ is the responsiveness and just the handling of the car overall. This car is easily, like I said, one of the lightest sports cars ever made, if not the lightest sports car ever made, depending on whether you think the Miata is a sports car or not. And overall, the handling in this car is pretty insane. It is no slouch either. Through the corners, this thing is definitely one of the quickest and one of the most fun cars to drive that I have driven to date. And I've driven quite a few cars, but this one definitely stands out the most to me. The steering, in my opinion, is a little bit light, but not too light to the point that it's annoying. It's just super easy to throw around and feels really responsive. And also, because this car is naturally aspirated, the car's responsive power is instant. There's no waiting for a turbo to spool up. There's no power lag. It's all just right there when you put your foot down, exactly when you want it. I understand a lot of the people think that the car is slow, and it is in like respect to other cars, but like that's just one thing that comes with the BRZ, is that it is slow in a straight line for the most part. I mean, it does a pretty decent 0 to 60 now with the extra horsepower and the less weight and all that, but with the BRZ does come that whole idea that it is a really slow car, and I would kind of agree that in a straight line it's definitely not the fastest, but that's not the point of why people buy the BRZ. It's such a great driver's car, and it is amazing in the back roads, and it's a ton of fun, and they look really cool. Well, another thing that makes this car so fun to drive is the interior, and what I mean by that is everything is so nicely positioned facing you that like it's all driver oriented. The steering wheel feels nice in my hands. There's an old person driving 2 miles per hour in front of me. The dashboard is set up really nicely, and the track view is really, really cool. It kind of makes you feel like you're in a sports car that was built for the track, and this thing kind of was. It was designed to be that back road dominating weekend fun car, and I think it lives up to that perfectly. On top of that, the seats feel really nice. They bolster you in a great way, and they come in 2 different options. They come in this just normal seat that you get with the base model, because I have the limited, and then I have the premium, and the limited comes with really nice Alcantara seats, which is a great upgrade. I particularly don't want the Alcantara seats because I'm going to be upgrading the seats in this anyway for some really cool BRZ or Cusco seats in the future. But interior feel is top notch with this car. Like it's amazing. The driver position is perfect. The way that the seat sits is perfect. And I've been in some cars where the seats are just way too aggressive. Like the way that they just pick your legs up and like almost hug you a little too hard. I have decently wide shoulders, so the way that this car feels to me is perfect. And the way that the dashboard lines up with the hood of the car really makes you feel like you're in a go-kart, which is kind of the reason why everybody loves these cars so much. It's literally just like driving a go-kart for the street. And with how light they are, like I said before, and the new added power of this new car just makes it so much fun to drive. And on top of driver feel for steering wheel and seating position, the shifter is just amazing from the factory. It's super notchy, it's already short, and just all in all from the factory, I think they nailed this car. It's just so much fun to drive. So if you're one of those people who's looking to pick up a fun sports car and you're not that much into modifying cars, this car will be perfect for you, because it's literally, as is from the factory, one of the most fun cars that I've ever driven. Just the other day, we were going around whipping it in a couple empty parking lots, me and my buddy Cam. Here's some footage of that. If you want to go check out that video is linked up above right now too. So yeah, it's obviously a blast to drive, and you can get it sideways so easily. Like that video you just saw, I literally have never tried to drift a car ever in my life. That was my first time, and it's just a blast. So if you want to go check that video out, you can, but preferably after you finish this video. I think the only thing it's lacking stock is I still need to delete my sound composer, but I mean, it sounds aggressive, it's just not loud enough for me. And when I think of sports cars, I want that car to be loud, I want it to be kind of in my face, and I understand that there's a lot of regulations with stock cars that Subaru had to follow and every other company has to follow, but in terms of how loud the car is from the factory, there are other cars that you can get sports car wise that are way louder from the factory. I don't know if they would beat or come close to the price range of this car, but I know that you can have sports cars be super loud from the factory, and some even with valved exhaust. So if loud exhausts aren't your thing, but if you're in the back roads and you want to throw it out and you want to just go have fun and be loud, then you can flip a switch and there you go, loud exhaust. But for me, this car is definitely not loud enough, and the sound composer is a little bit annoying sometimes, so I will be pulling the fuse on that. And if you have one of these cars and you want to learn how to do that, I also have another video that I'm making real quick just to show you guys how to, and there's plenty of videos out there that'll show you how to remove the sound composer and make the car sound a little bit more natural. But yeah, for me, that's like the biggest lacking point of this car, is that it's just not loud enough for me, which also we are going to be fixing with an exhaust that we have coming in the mail soon. So again, if you want to see that, be sure to stick around so that you don't miss out on that sick video. And one more thing that you probably wouldn't really think of when you think of how fun the car is not only how fun it is for you, but how fun it is for other people. I've had plenty of my friends say when they're sitting in the passenger seat and we're kind of ripping around that this car is just a blast to be in. The car gets a lot of looks, which is really cool. I've never had a car that's gotten as many looks as this, like people just running out to take pictures with their phones from stores, or like, I don't know, the other day I had some kid running down a hill to come take a picture of my car, which is definitely just because it's a new car, but like, the BRZ definitely gets looks, and especially if they're modified. Like if you have nice wheels, a cool setup, like they are absolutely one of the best looking cars out there. No doubt. They're definitely one of the most popular JDM cars that you can modify to. And also in terms of modification, they are built to be modified. Like they are very mod friendly. There's a really big aftermarket support group for this car, which by the way, this car is a great daily. Super comfortable, not a lot of road noise, great gas mileage. I average like 32 with this thing, which is ridiculous, but I do mostly highway driving, but I can get like 320 miles out of a tank, and this thing is just absolutely awesome. I would recommend that you put 91 and 93 in it. You don't have to do that. I got roasted saying that you do have to put that in there a while ago, but listen, I think you should have to put it in because you take better care of the car when you put better gas in it. It's just like cheap insurance, so like why would you not pay $5, $6, or $10 extra just to put a little bit better fuel in it? And one thing that I would add about the responsiveness of this car, there are two different tire options that you can get with this car. I have the premium version, so that comes with the 17-inch wheels on just your basic all-season tires. They're not that great. In fact, they're shared with the Prius, so the fact that this car even handles this well on Prius tires is pretty amazing. And then if you get the limited model, it upgrades you to the 18-inch wheels with the better, more stickier summer tires. And I don't remember exactly what tires they are, so I'm not going to try and say which ones they are, but they are great either way. If you are definitely a more aggressive driver and you're planning on tracking the car or taking it into the back roads often, I would definitely recommend going with the higher model, because I've heard great things about those tires, and that car is already an animal, so if you add those tires to it, it would just make it absolutely insane. Either one you go with, I bought the premium because I want more room for modification, like the cloth seats. I don't have to worry about ripping them out and putting different seats in there and like wasting nice seats. Like the limited seats are really great, but for someone who wants to just keep the car as is, definitely get the limited version because it's worth the extra couple $1,000s. Overall, the suspension feel is great. The car definitely needs some coilovers, but for stock suspension, this is definitely top tier. Would also like the car to be just a little bit lower, but this is fine for now. And speaking of lower, this car actually has a lower center of gravity than the previous gen BRZ, which makes the car super responsive and flat throughout all the corners. And not like the previous gen wasn't already flat through the corners, but this car is even better. And it's why people swear by this car so much, is because out of the box, it's just an amazing, fun car to drive. It can handle a track day, it can handle the highway commute, it can handle anything you throw at it. It's just overall a fantastic car. Now, in a straight line, this is not the fastest car, but I do have a straight road here, so I'm going to pin it. That was 100. Takes a second to get to 100, but it'll get there. It also does not mind being there either, let me say that, because it is one of the most comfortable cars I've ever been in around the 100-mile-an-hour mark. Like here in Arizona, like for example, like people on the highway drive pretty quick, and like on the 10 the other day, I was chilling with most people. We were all doing like about 90, 92-ish, and it chills like it's at 60. So like it's definitely one of the most comfortable cars that you could be in. In terms of driver confidence, this car has a ton to offer. I was never really an aggressive driver when it came to having fun in the back roads, but this car just gives me some weird driving confidence that I've never had before. And I don't know whether it's because the car's lower and it feels so nice in the corners, or like, I don't know what it is, but the BRZ is just a confidence-inspiring driver's car. You see? Nice. That's a fun driver's car. Well guys, that's all I got for you today. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and maybe it helped you out if you were deciding whether to buy one of these or not. And maybe if you were worried about having enough car, you know, if you didn't want to modify it, is it going to be enough to have fun with? Definitely remember to stay tuned if you want to see this car get turned into an absolutely different car over the next 2 weeks. We have some crazy parts coming in for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I will see you guys shortly in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you made it this far, like and leave a comment, let me know that you made it this far. So with that guys, I will see you very shortly in the next video. Peace out.